Are you ready to learn about sinking funds and how to use them? Let's go. Grab your coffee. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. My name is Sarah. I'm a certified financial coach and a self-proclaimed frugal living expert. If you like these kinds of videos, please feel free to subscribe. That's the best compliment you can give, and hit that little bell button so you don't miss any videos. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to leave something in the comments and I'll be more than happy to help. Today we're talking about sinking funds. What's a sinking fund? A sinking fund are basically mini savings accounts for things that you know are coming. Some examples of sinking funds might be Christmas, pet visits, car registrations, things that you want to save for, kind of big things, so you don't have to come up with the money on the fly. I have 3 tips for you on why you need a sinking fund. Tip number 1, you always have the money. It's always there. You know that when the car's registration or the car inspection needs to happen, you've got the money for that. You know that when your husband needs a haircut, you've got the money for that. You know that when your kids need back to school shopping done, you've got the money for that. It's always nice to have those sinking funds available for you when you are ready to spend money. Tip number 2, peace of mind. How often do you lay in bed at night thinking about how you're going to come up with the money for Christmas again this year? It's a way to calm your mind and be ready for those bigger things that you know are coming. Tip number 3, no need for credit cards anymore. You know that you've got the money in the sinking fund for Christmas. You know that you've got the money in the sinking fund for vacation. There's no reason to put it on a credit card. You've got the money, it's ready to go. Now, what's the difference between sinking funds and cash envelopes? Well, they're similar. For me, cash envelopes are for those things that first I overspend on, Target, groceries, and second, I know that most of the money in there, if not all of the money in there, is going to be gone every single week or month or pay period. So I'm going to be refilling those every single time I get paid. Those groceries, Target, gas is another envelope that I use, eggs, because we get our eggs from a local farmer. So I like to have exact change. So that's in there. The difference now is sinking funds tend to build up. Many times people will put their big sinking funds into separate savings accounts. I do that with Bella, our dog, our sweet dog, who's 15 years old. She's getting older, so I like to have a nice substantial sinking fund for her, and our taxes, because we have no mortgage anymore. We have to pay taxes out of pocket instead of an escrow. So I like to make sure that our taxes are in a savings account, because again, that gets built up. Where do you keep your sinking funds? Well, for us, the majority of our sinking funds are in an undisclosed location. A few of them, like I mentioned with taxes and Bella, and possibly Christmas, you can put in separate savings accounts. If your bank allows you to have a number of savings accounts, it makes it easier for you to keep those larger sinking funds in a savings account. Sometimes people get a little nervous having too much cash around. So really, what are the benefits of having a sinking fund? Well, Dave Ramsey talks about sinking funds as a way to get out of debt and to control your finances a little bit better. If you know you have the money set aside, you know that you're not going to further your debt when something comes up. This way, you are the boss of your money rather than the money being your boss. Now, I can tell you, some people are okay with credit cards. Some people have no problem whatsoever purchasing something on a credit card. When it comes due, pay it in full. I know my mom's like this. I'm not. I'm really, really terrible with credit cards. And I know this about myself. So I know that the cash system is the best way for me to do it. And I may be a little bit of a control freak. You could ask my husband. He'd say yes. So I like to know and to have on hand visually, because I'm also a very visual person, those sinking funds and those cash envelopes at my fingertips. It might be because I'm an only child, but I have no self-control. And if I know that there's only $80 in that Target envelope, I'm really good at just spending $80. Because we get paid every 2 weeks or bi-weekly or twice a month, sometimes 3, we budget by paycheck. So every single paycheck, I pull out my budget planner and I create a budget. I know at the beginning of the month everything that needs to get paid and when it needs to get paid. And then I will pay every 2 weeks the bills that need to be paid for that pay period. At the same time, I'll go to the bank, I'll get my cash out, and I'll divide them up into my sinking funds and my cash envelopes. As a financial coach, I always advise my clients to start out with cash. I know some of them it's really, really hard for them to give up credit cards. I get it. It's a safety net. It feels secure to them. This isn't forever. Well, for me it is. Maybe just for a little while, just to get yourself back on track again, just to figure out exactly what your relationship is with money and how you can take control of that money. Take the credit cards, seal them in an envelope, throw them in a safety deposit box, put them in a bucket of water in the freezer, whatever you need to do to get rid of those credit cards so you can temporarily go into a cash-only system. You may find that you like it a lot and just want to stick with it. But if you don't, there's always the option of going back. However, I would never recommend that. The sinking fund and cash envelope wallet system is really the greatest opportunity you have to get toward your debt-free journey just a little bit faster.